we're trying to defend the fucking results in given places. That's what we're doing. But you're like, oh, because it inures to the benefit of a left-wing person as opposed to a center-left person, then it's like you're sweeping. Was I sweeping for Kamala?
No, I didn't. I honestly didn't even see your post, so I don't know the extent of the commentary that you've given on this. But so I didn't have you in mind. I wasn't like throwing shade or anything like that.
Oh, there's the Whick class himself, the head honcho.
Hello.
What's up, man?
𝕵𝖎𝖎 DM'd me or super chatted me. He's like, "Hey, DM 𝕾𝖍𝖎𝖙 to get on Lib and Learn."
Get 𝕵𝖎𝖎 in here too, man. 𝕵𝖎𝖎, I know you're watching. Get in here, buddy.
Yeah.
Come on in.
Me and 𝕵𝖎𝖎 had a little back and forth this morning.
Pull up a chair. You know you want to. Get in here.
But
you can't resist. Watch. He'll join. Mark my words.
Don't worry. As we talk, I'm sure he will want to have a few things to say.
Well, before we argue, Whick, do you want to promote your Liberal Action Network? What does that do? I don't know if I want to pay money to do Liberal Action. I just want to go places and canvas.
We're not asking for money.
Okay.
We're not asking for funds or anything like that. Right now, the Liberal Action Network, it's very new. It's something that has been cooking up for a while, but they just released it on my birthday, which was a few days ago.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. And it basically is liberal streamer NATO, like we talked about. It is well, no, for real. It's for people.
An attack on one is an attack on all. Article 5.
It's a defensive alliance, right? Where people who have consistently been coming at our throats, right? We can communicate together, work together, because again, alone we get isolated, we get separated, we feel like it's hopeless, like there's no one around that shares our values. But it's a place and a system where we can just support each other and promote liberalism in the broader
and brigade lefties
discourse.
And snark on them. Yes. No, listen, I'm all for it. Look, you guys go off on your Liberal Action Network, and I think that like that's all cool and base, and we should defend ourselves against bad faith attacks and shit from lefties and stuff like that. And if Josh Shapiro becomes the nominee and there's like this bullshit about the murder shit, I'm going to be adding the Vanguard at some point. I want to have a debate with them because I've been hearing them go a little crazy. That's all cool, whatever. What the fuck does it have to do with this conversation?
Oh, no. People asked me, and I told him.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Yeah, Pisco.
That's on me. That's on me. I
don't listen to Soyfill talks either, to be clear.
We're not talking about your fucking book right now.
All right. Also, we have to push the Pac-Man conversation. Heads up.
Oh yeah, we rescheduled. Pac-Man's a very busy man.
Whick, go ahead.
So is Whick? Are you in the camp that would vote Republican? I'm not trying to put any evil on you. I honestly have no idea why you're up here. No offense. I'm happy to have you up here, but I don't know what position do you have that has brought you to this table?
So I think that if I were to be in Wisconsin and Hong were to win the nomination, I think that I would not vote. I would choose the couch. I think that
you would prefer the Republican, as you said in the tweet exchange.
Well, hold on. If I had my preference, we wouldn't have Hong as a nominee.
I know.
Base liberal warrior would come to the fore, defeat her in the primary.
Now, when IRI's asking you don't want to disappoint your like dad, and IRI has this like very fatherly presence about him. Really, truly. And I look up to him. I think everyone should look up to him. And you're hiding your power level. You said in our Twitter reply that your preference is that the MAGA Republican Tom Tiffany in a matchup with Francesca Hong.
I think it's better for the Democratic Party. Yes, I think it's better.
So why not say it with your chest? Why be like, my preference is this entire thing never happened in the first place?
Because when you say it's my preference, you act as it signals that it's my first choice. It's not. We are in a situation, however, where I don't get my first choice. I don't get my preference. And since we are in a situation where Hong has, I think that Hong threatens liberalism in many of the same ways that MAGA does. And I find it more insidious than MAGA because there are people who would never defend MAGA who will defend Hong. And that's why I think she's a greater threat. Now, look, I think that when it comes down to it, Hong's not going to win the general. I think that's what the evidence suggests.
That's like just doing a prediction. We're not asking you for your Nate Silver take, bro. We're asking you for your outlook in terms of who you want to win, not what you expect
again. I think it's better for the Democratic Party if she loses. Yes.
You know, I don't think we need to speculate too much. I mean, I don't know if we've ever had a DSA governor, but we've had DSA mayors, I think, right? And we've had, you know, people, they've had some prominence in like local politics. They've done decently well at the state level in some cases. And, you know, what was the worst that happened? They did some stupid policies that they ended up rolling back a couple years later. So when you say like Hong represents just as much of a threat to liberal democracy as MAGA, that seems kind of crazy to me, Whick, a little bit, because MAGA, you know, as a political movement, a majority of them think that, you know, 2020 was stolen, and they straight up literally tried to
but 𝕾𝖍𝖎𝖙's been playing with, and 𝕾𝖍𝖎𝖙 isn't DSA, but, and I will vote for 𝕾𝖍𝖎𝖙 if he wins. I want to make that clear because the Senate's just more important. But I think that 𝕾𝖍𝖎𝖙's been playing with electoral election denialism too. Saying that if he loses, it's because of AIPAC and outside funding.
I agree that stuff is cringe. But that's not even in the same universe as what Trump did in 2020.
My argument here is that if Hong were to win in the general, it would make it harder to defeat MAGA in the future. And let me lay this out for you. Like, we know that Hong is underperforming, and most of the DSA candidates are underperforming the environment right now, right? So we're in like a D+8, D+7 environment. They are either underwater and probably not going to win, or they have taken winnable races and made them either a toss-up or likely red, likely Republican. If she wins, what's going to happen in the primary is people are going to want to go towards, or be more likely to go towards her style of politics and campaign with the same people that she's been campaigning with, right? That I do feel are an existential threat to the Democratic
But
Party.
I would grant you that, Whick, and I would still say that that's not that's a less bad outcome than having a Republican governor.
And how is that different from the Hassan camp saying the exact same thing about Kamala? Like, hey, yeah, obviously trolley problems, she's not as bad, but if you elect her, then we're going to get more liberalism, we're going to get more do-nothing Democrats.
Because I like liberalism and I don't like illiberalism.
And MAGA
That's
is going to take over because it's going to disaffect voters, and people will say, well, they're not delivering. Like, this is the exact same argument that I said is total bullshit from him, and that's how, like, part of the reason we get millions of people dead from U.S. aid cuts. That's how we get all our institutions covered.
The difference is they're being shown a pizza and saying, oh, I can't eat pizza, it's poisonous, okay? And then I'm being shown a plate of cyanide and saying, I can't eat that, it's poisonous.
Doing the Nina Turner
We're
thing.
making the same argument, but the facts of the matter are not the same. Obviously, I'm correct and they are incorrect. But
so
at the end of the day,
only argument is I'm right and they're wrong? Like, you don't have, like, polling to show this will happen down the line?
I can. Like, I just pointed to what's happening with 𝕾𝖍𝖎𝖙 and Hong, right? Hong has taken a winnable race and made it so we are going to have much harder time winning that. Can we acknowledge that reality?
Well, the
100%, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, the polls.
So
the polls say that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if we don't want that to happen in the future, we don't want this constant taking winnable races. If we just have generic Democrat or someone just fucking moderate, and then making them much harder to win.
But this,
if we want to help nip that,
if
I may finish.
Yeah, but isn't that like,
if
I
may
why
finish,
we shouldn't
please.
elect her in the
If I may
primary?
finish, please.
Like, I don't want to vote for her in the primary?
Yes, this is a primary argument, not a general argument.
No, it's a general argument too. If she wins the primary, it's much. If she wins the primary, and then so by some miracle she wins the general, what's going to happen is there's going to be more people. We knew we could get him in here.
I knew it.
I'm not saying
knew it.
anything, though. I'm
I
not
knew
saying
it.
anything, though. I'm just going to sit here and show you
Just
that
when
I
I
am
thought I was
conquering
out.
that I'm conquering my fucking addiction, and I can be here, and I can be in the midst of this, and I'm not going to say a word. So go ahead.
Not to leak any private DMs, but Josiah, he called me a couple nights ago, just crying. He's like, Niels, I can't stop. I can't stop. It's hours and hours. I'm stuck in these calls. I can't stop super chatting. I can't stop entering these arguments, and I want to quit. My wife, she says, Josiah, please come to dinner. Please, please. And he won't come. He's locked himself in the garage. He won't stop joining. And this is our intervention, Josiah. This is all of us in a circle around you. Saying,
You actually baited me here to have me an
need to
intervention.
stop.
Whick doesn't
You
actually
need to
believe
stop.
a goddamn thing he just said. It was all to provoke me to get here.
True. No, you know what?
Listen.
You got me.
Get Mootin in here.
I will
Yeah,
say,
look,
I
hold
will
on,
say
hold
I
on,
missed dinner
hold on.
Who the
before.
fuck is Mootin?
It's very unfair right now. You guys are going to need more guys, okay? It's very unfair for
We
you
need-
right now.
We need
okay?
four more.
You're gonna
we
need more
four
guys.
Democrats to attack
Okay.
Whick, yeah.
But we can
Whick,
get
I'm
moving
curious. What is your reaction to my argument I made a few minutes ago about the governor of Wisconsin will play a role in the certification of the 2020 election results and could undermine public trust in our democracy? Isn't that worse than any damage DSA could do to our party through Hong as governor?
Yeah, specifically
I-
the candidate that said, "I want to subvert the election
Yes.
and certify Trump," knowing that he did
No,
not win. Basically, like
that obviously is a risk, and it's something worth keeping in mind when everyone has to make this choice for their own. I don't mean to downplay that. I don't.
Well, you're saying
mean
it's not as
to-
important.
Yes, because I think the other threat is much more dire than that. Because
So
at the end of the day,
Stealing the election is
Hold on, I
worse
don't think
than
they'll do
someone
it.
Not even
I don't think
committing
it'll
to doing
work.
the craziest thing on their platform.
I don't think it'll work.
No, we don't think prison abolition will
Oh,
work.
so you're the 𝕵𝖎𝖎. The guardrails will hold, so we're
that is
good.
the
We could just
𝕵𝖎𝖎.
keep electing these people who are going to try to subvert the entire
Again,
democratic process.
we don't. This problem, MAGA is waning right now. Their influence is waning. They are being beaten on every front.
Holy cope.
In
What?
polls, in special elections, we see us flipping seats from red to blue consistently
So
in
stop,
2026 and
stop keeping the pressure
2025.
up on him and vote for them. Even is
I
that what the argument is?
I can't finish the argument, right? You won't
Yeah,
let
You're
me.
triggering me.
okay?
This is ridiculous. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's
I thought
not
MAGA was a
ridiculous.
fucking existential fascist threat, and they're like, they're on their way out. The
They-
guy's
hold on.
joking about
Are
running
we-
for a third fucking
hold on.
term.
What is Trump's approval rating right now?
It's really bad. You just crossed like.
I think
30
it's
numbers.
probably it's the 5th lowest ever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
fifth
wait,
lowest
who
ever.
cares? Who cares if he doesn't fucking win the election if
He's
he
a
tries
fascist.
to fucking steal it?
That is a problem and a threat. But if he
That's a
tries to
risk I'm
fucking
gonna
steal
take.
the
A little one
election,
that I'm willing
voting
to take
won't
to just
matter.
make sure Hong doesn't win.
Hong, look, so say they try, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but say they try another false slate of electors scheme, right? Where they have and they get the swing states that go blue, inshallah, in 2028, right? They put out a false slate of electors, say it was stolen, and they send it to the Congress. And J.D. Vance is a spineless cuck and will just do whatever Trump says.
You don't
Mike
have to
Pence,
say because
the
they all
Patriot-
said they would do this. By
Right.
the way,
Yeah,
J.D. Vance said I would have certified
Yes.
for Trump.
Yes,
So,
yes,
okay.
yes. And then when he does say, okay, we're going to accept these false slate of electors, what happens? It goes to the House, doesn't it? Is that what
You're
happens?
asking
I don't think
the
anybody
procedural-
knows.
you're asking the
No,
No, I'm pretty
procedural?
sure that's what happens. It will go to
So-
because I watched
so there are
Dev's
many-
video on this. Dev's
There are
video
many
was
different stages to
based.
it. So if you're trying to interfere through Congress, then yes, the House can vote as House delegation, as a state delegation.
Yeah, so
and
it
then
would
it's
be
out of
important
50,
in that
but
case
it's
if
not
you
just
wanna
that,
stop
yeah.
it.
So there's layers to this. The first was just to have Mike Pence declare Trump the victor. The second was to have the state actors actually send the official slates to be the Trump slate. So to obviate the need for congressional support and just have the governor send over slates of electors. And that's why he went after those state electors first. Remember that? That's why he had these people on the phone. Raffensperger, he brought in the Michigan guys. Like, this is why the state actors matter.
Wait,
Because there's multiple
but
levels.
Whick was about to say something here, and he's about to walk into a trap. But go ahead, Whick.
or walk into a trap.
Yeah,
So,
go ahead.
It's going
Tap
to go
on the
to the
right
House,
click.
correct? After he's
The
like,
House-
well,
that's
we
one
can't
avenue.
we can't know which slate of electors is true. We're going to have to go to the House and vote on it, right? That's as I understand what
That's
the
one
process.
No,
method.
wait. No, Pisco, don't
No.
let him finish. Let him finish.
Is that correct? Am I correct in this?
You're kind of correct.
Kind of.
Kind of correct. How am I wrong?
Well, wait.
So
Finish
they-
your thought. Wait, finish your thought.
Sure.
Don't let's
So,
let him do the punchline
if-
here.
Oh, I think I know where you're going. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
If we are going to want in 2028 to maximize our chance of stopping that, the thing we need to do is ensure we win the House. Would that be logical? Correct?
Yes, but here's the problem. Winning the House is not enough. Do you know why?
Well, I
Who was
I
Speaker
agree
of the
winning
House
House
on
is not
January
enough
6th?
in general, but
No.
why do
Who
you
was
think?
Speaker of the House on January 6, 2021?
The Speaker of the House in 2021? I don't remember. I don't
Was
recall.
Nancy Pelosi.
Nancy Pelosi.
Fair enough.
Simply having a majority in the House doesn't protect you because it's about the state delegations. And guess which party has more state delegations than the other party? The Republicans.
state delegations, that would be Republicans, correct?
Correct. So
Yes.
if it were to go to the House and the House were the ultimate arbiter of who would win at the election, it would be Republicans, even with a Democratic majority.
Hold on. How would that work, though?
It's 50. So it's 50 states, and every member votes within their delegation, and the majority is the vote for the states. That's the fucked up system we have.
So that
I mean, even if it wasn't,
so
by the
in
way,
House,
like this is
Yeah,
where
but-
I thought you were going, Josiah. Like the governor is going to affect any kind of gerrymander that's going to occur. The governor could literally have an effect on the House of Representatives just based on like the thing about
hold
it
on,
with Newsom.
no, not for 2028, sir, because
Says who?
time. Again,
Well,
who's
these-
currently governor in Wisconsin?
Right now it's Evers.
Evers, right? Evers, as I understand it, is an election denier, is he?
No, but
He's not an election-
but if Tiffany wins, Tiffany would be seated for the remainder of between January 2027
28
and
is what matters.
yeah, until
Yes.
January 3rd, 2028. And remember, the new House is seated before the election is certified on January 6th. So
I
in
don't
theory-
believe that's true, actually.
Wait,
I
can,
believe
can
it
I
goes
jump
to
in?
the
'Cause I feel
previous
like we're
House.
getting a
True.
little lost in the weeds here. What is happening is we have two options in primaries. We have DSA people and we have the not DSA people. And in the places where DSA people are winning, we're now saying the only way to cut the cancer out, to make sure they don't win, is to vote for MAGA Republicans or not
No,
vote.
not
and
vote.
not, hey, what happened in this primary that made us get rat fucked so hard we didn't win and beat these people that apparently have this so unelectable platform that they shouldn't be winning, but they still are. The voters are picking these people. So liberals, if we want these people out who have crazier ideas, we need better fucking candidates. And the idea that the solution to cutting DSA out of the tent is let's elect MAGA is fucking insane to me, regardless of whether or not you think the guardrails are going to hold. Like this whole conversation is like, we're so past the, hey, why don't we run better politicians? Why don't we actually make sure that we can address voters the way that they
should do that
feel
as
being
well.
heard? Well, we're
Why are you
not.
why are you getting mad at Whick right now and not?
Because he's
Elside-
saying basically
Well,
like
hang on.
the
Why are
only
you
way to
getting mad
do
at
this
Whick
is
and not mad at Hong for courting his vote?
Wait, he's also.
What do you
wait, no,
mean? I'm
he's
not
also
mad at
wanting that
Hong.
to
I
occur.
want Hong to get as many voters as she can.
Well, you
I'm
should
mad
be
at
more
Whick
mad
for
at her.
saying
It's her job
but
to earn the votes.
Hodge, no meta
Wicks,
stuff.
if Wicks, no, it's fine. He could do
Oh.
it. I mean, like, look, I get it because these are
Just
dumb
saying.
arguments from the left, and if you repeat them,
They're
it's like,
not-
yeah, I understand these
Okay.
dumb arguments. But the point is, if Hong is unable to court Wick because Wick's position is, Hong, you're so bad, I want a MAGA instead of you, and I think MAGA is better down the line. What the fuck is she going to say to him?
I just want to say for the record, I was correct. They are seated on January 3rd, 3 days
Yes.
before January
Yes.
6th. I was
Yes.
right. I'm always right. Don't
Fair enough.
question me on Senate procedure shit.
But again, the gerrymander won't come into effect. There's just not enough time to gerrymander in.
There's 2 years, Wick. What are you talking about?
Okay, when's the next House election? 2028.
2028. Yeah.
yeah,
28.
so you have the 2026 midterms here in November, and then the next House races are during the presidential election in 2028.
In 2028, yes.
Let me
They definitely could gerrymander in those 2 years for sure.
let me
I'm
try.
not sure how much of an impact the gerrymandering
Yeah, I
would
just don't. I don't
have.
see that as. I just don't see that as going to be. That's not going to be salient. It's not going to be able to be outcome determinative on this.
Let me.
right?
Let me.
But what will be
Every
outcome
matters,
determinative,
man.
and what we know will happen, is that if Hong wins the general election, right, and we have to fight for all these primaries where we take winnable seats and we make them much harder to win, we're going to have to need more resources. We're going to have to need more time, effort.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Wait. You know me. I would grant you all of that. I
Yes.
agree. I think if she, is the general candidate, and if she wins, it's going to make Democrats' jobs harder. It's impossible to quantify. Is that really going to be specific to that region of the country? Is it even going to affect a race like Alaska? I don't know. But the angle that I want to hit you with now is like, why wouldn't we just anticipate that the same thing that happened during Trump 1.0 is going to happen this time? Which is to say, like, the DSA is going to have they're going to have good nights, which relative to them is like, 4 people in the Congress or whatever. And they'll probably have another good night in 2028. But when we look at the trends right now with Trump's approval rating, and it is abysmal, and no one has ever, as far as I understand, nobody comes back from that kind of polling. They just continue to go down. And so what I think is the most likely outcome here, Whick, is the same thing that happened last time, which is the next time we have a Dem trifecta, the DSA is going to burn out and they're going to plateau and then they're going to decline because they have no pitch when a Democrat's in office. Then, then their shit is like unpopular. Hence Bowman and Cori Bush losing their primaries.
You would grant me that the DSA is currently on this cycle expanding its seats. It's expanding its reach. It's not a lot. They are
this is like
absolutely
saying,
overselling
it from 2%,
but it is getting worse, right?
I just like listen. Do you see them? Do you see them?
Is that not true? What I just said?
Again, but it's like saying it's going from 1% to 2%, right?
Yeah,
like,
but that's why it's easy to nip in the bud now. I don't want it to get to 20% or 25%.
I do
it's not easy to nip in the bud. You're saying the solution is elect MAGA. That's not an easy solution.
Shut the fuck up and let me talk real quick. It actually doesn't, like, we're not nipping anything in the bud. You understand that when Republicans are in office, the DSA does better, right?
Well, that's why they try to get Republicans elected. Yeah,
demonstrably the case. They elect more DSA people. They're more successful when Republicans are in office at the state level and the federal level. So, if you acknowledge that, I don't understand how you could abide a Republican governor.
One seat, one governorship. Again, we know in 2026 that we are going to, in at least every metric I see, we're taking the House. We're getting 230 seats. We might even take the Senate. That's up in the air, and it's going to be harder. But those things are destined to happen, right? What's going to happen if Hong wins? Huh?
I mean, destined to happen. The betting markets right now have a 15% chance of Dems losing the House. Now, you can say it's likely, and we would agree. It's likely.
Okay,
but,
most likely.
But don't count
very
your chickens
likely.
Before they hatch. And this
likely.
beast is not done yet. And we don't want to hand them a crucial swing state governorship.
What we don't want to do is hand DSA this kind of victory that they can use to galvanize and get worse. And so it's not just during the Republican years where they get stronger, but it becomes something that happens in other years as well. Again, this is I think you guys are I think you guys are really underselling the threat here of these people, right? They are illiberal. They are going to make it harder to beat MAGA. They're going to make it harder to elect liberal Democrats. This is something that they say they will do, right? You got Mike from PA, you got Kyle Kulinski, you got 𝕵𝖎𝖙, all saying that they are enemies to the Democratic Party, right? That they are, I believe Mike PA said he was going to depress Democratic turnout until we bent the knee to the left or whatever the fuck.
That's what you're saying now. We hate those people for saying that, and you're saying, and maybe we should vote for MAGA.
No.
The best way to beat MAGA is to elect MAGA, you fool.
I have advocated to sit out and not support these records.
Disagree with Mooten when Mooten says vote.
Did Mooten say to vote for the Republican?
Yes,
I think he's wrong for that. I would never vote for Republican.
How this is? I fucking call Hassan out for this shit. I fucking hate that a guy with 2 to 3 million fucking followers and all this money. Like, look at what he's doing now for these candidates that finally align with him. It's like, hey, why the fuck didn't you do that when it mattered to beat Trump? And you're essentially saying the same thing as he is and saying, well, down the line, my calculus is that 3 years later, this will make it easier to win. And I don't see that right now. I see, hey, this is a governor who might not certify the election, right?
My enemy is not just MAGA. One of the things that is frustrating me is you use MAGA as this blank check to cede every single vote to the left that we can. And it's a problem, right? It cannot be that because MAGA is running, then we have no lines on our side, that we never draw something in the sand and say, this is too much, we cannot vote for this. Hong has passed this line for me, right? It's not just MAGA that is my enemy. It's authoritarianism. It's illiberalism.
Why is Hong so bad to you? Why is Hong so bad in particular?
Well,
did you see who she was campaigning? Well, first of all, did you see who was campaigning with? Like, I think yesterday, maybe today. This person praises 𝕬𝖎𝖙, who killed 40 million people. This person is playing with great replacement theory, right? Lying about what the New York Times says, claiming that Israel is invading Muslims to Spain. It's crazy shit, right? This person wants America to be destroyed as it is. He wants to abolish private property. He wants to what's the other, like, yeah, he's a terrorist supporter who.
You don't even need to do guilt by association with her, though. Like, you can just listen to her stated positions.
Yeah, well, that too. But like, it's all of the above. That's a problem.
Holds positions that are broadly toxic to the entire party. And Whick is right that if she wins the general and is the governor of that state, the Fox News and the right-wing media machine are going to have a fucking field day with her, and it is going to drag down the party. It's 100% guaranteed. There's just the positions that she was pushing on Fox News are so unbelievably toxic to the Democratic Party. We know this to be true.
Yeah, and so, even the things that she's disavowed. You remember? Do you guys remember Project 2025? Right, when they wrote Project 2025,
I forgot about that.
And then Trump was like, "Oh, I don't even know what this is." Right? I disavow it. Project 2025. I've never heard of it. And then when they got elected, they just started implementing 2025. I think about that a lot when it comes to the DSA and DSA candidates going on and saying, "I've never heard about that. I disavow that shit."
And that's why it's Lord of the Flies in Mamdanieville, right? I mean, that's why we have no private property in Mamdanieville.
Mamdani is a mayor. His power is limited, and he's letting in people like DAC who are going to do shit like that once they get enough power. I don't know. Why would I ever vote someone who's like, "Hey, Whick, I'm going to, like, my stated policy position is we want to kill you. We're going to murder you. But don't worry, don't worry. We can't do it now. It's kind of silly to even be mad at me now. We don't have enough power to murder you. We don't have the strength or anything like that. So don't worry about it. That's our stated policy position, to murder you.
Yeah, is that our stated policy position?
She wants to murder you.
I'm illustrating a point. I don't think they're actually trying to murder me, right? But I'm saying if someone is saying that we want to abolish the Senate, we want to abolish the police.
And if someone is saying that they want to abolish all these things, steal the 2020 election.
Yes, that's bad. That's why I'm not voting for them either.
Yeah, but which one's worse?
Yeah, but sitting out an election, you risk the worst one, Tom Tiffany, winning.
I don't know if that's
worse.
Your
tacit approval.
Well, wait, okay, no, take a stance right now. You don't know which is worse. One's worse. They're not equally bad. Do you think MAGA?
No, they are worse
in
different ways, and it depends.
No,
do you feel that
one is worse? One's gonna be worse. You have to decide for yourself right now.
Okay, which is getting worse? Burned to death or shot? Depends where you get shot.
Yeah,
right?
if you make a metaphor that's completely disanalogous, you can just completely deflect from the question.
But you keep,
I'm upset with
saying
you right now.
What is
you can't
absolutely
just sit
worse?
out like a little bitch. I've had this fucking
disagree.
energy to the left for 2024, and now you're like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Fucking pick.
Disagree.
One is
with
gonna be
your
worse.
Premise.
Do you think Hong is worse? Do you think MAGA's worse?
I disagree with your premise. I think that they are worse.
They're
in
equally
ways.
bad. They're just both equally as bad as it could possibly get.
I think that they are worse in different ways. One is worse when it comes to democratic electability and long-term survival of the party and long-term ability to beat back the Republicans. One is worse short-term, right? So it depends. Is short-term worse or is long-term worse? And I don't know the answer to that, so it's hard to rank.
But Whick, we don't know what's going to happen in the long term. A lot of things can change between now and that end result that you're talking about, right? Like a lot of twists and turns. But we do know that 2 years from now, Tom Tiffany is going to be like, this election was rigged. My swing state ain't certifying this shit. And here's a whole bucket of problems.
I think that is just as predictable as us having a big problem winning 2028, 2030, 2032. I think that these are equally big problems.
Okay, well, Whick, then just say this. Say MAGA's worse, but I think that electing Hong might make it easier for MAGA to win in 2028. Like, at least then you can say,
because that's not the only
maybe
reason
Hong
she's
wouldn't
bad.
be as bad as MAGA.
Because again, that's not the only reason she's bad. That is the reason I'm pitching to you mostly because you guys are very anti-MAGA.
Whick, and you have influence, you tell your people that live in Wisconsin are going to vote.
Sit home.
What are you going to tell them? Just don't vote?
Yes, I will tell them, hey, look, vote your conscience, but for me, I'm sitting out.
No,
that's what fucking Hassan did in 2024, and I will never stop.
Okay, but he's doing that with Kamala, who was a strong liberal candidate who wasn't a threat to anything. I can't tell people
in good faith to do it. It was a genocide. I can't tell you.
He was wrong, and I am correct. That's the difference here. There's different facts of the matter.
I'm just right, and he's wrong. No,
yes.
I'm sorry. This is so stupid.
Kamala is just better than Hong in the DSA in every single way possible.
I think it might make the Democrats harder to win in 2028 because Kamala will be feckless, and then MAGA will win even harder in 2028. So look, it's just a calculus. I just have to vote for MAGA or sit out. I can't tell you to do that. Sorry.
Okay, you're just wrong here though.
I'm fucking not actually holding.
You
this
are
position. I
wrong.
think it's
You were
retarded.
trying to compare them saying the sky is red and me saying,
Well,
no, it's actually blue. And you're like, well, I don't know. Both sides have a
Wait,
point
can I
here.
ask-
No, you look
can I
out the fucking window and you see if the sky is red or sky is blue.
Wait, can I ask, who do you
Yes, of
hope
course.
wins? Even though you can't win, let's say you sit it out.
Sure.
Who would you hope wins?
Man, I hope
MAGA, he said it.
I think again, I think it'd be better if Hong lost. I think it would be better if Hong lost.
Hong
yes.
lost.
Long
So
term.
you would prefer MAGA win?
I don't know why you're being cagey about it. Say it with your fucking chest, Wick.
Yeah.
I
Just
keep
be
saying
like,
it. I'm
at
not
least
going to
be like
look.
Ruin.
I'm not
No,
going to
no,
parrot
no,
your
at least
lines.
be like
I'm going to
Ruin.
say it how I
Yeah,
want.
Yeah, because you're scared.
And you can't
how it
pressure
sounds.
me.
Yeah.
And you can't
Wait,
peer
Wick,
pressure me
If it's
into
better
say
that
it in
Hong
your
loses,
box.
if it's better
right?
that Hong
I'm
loses,
going to say it
Wick,
how
why
I
don't
like.
you just endorse MAGA right now and say, well, I want Hong to lose.
I'm not
and the best way
endorsing
for that to
MAGA.
happen
I'm
is
not.
to
I'm
win.
saying don't vote.
Why
for
not?
MAGA.
You want Hong to lose, right? That's the
I
better
think it would
option.
be better for Hong to lose.
Okay, well, there's one way for that to happen, and that's for MAGA to win, right?
Sit out. Don't. Never.
No.
Never vote
And
for
let
MAGA.
MAGA
Hong
win.
will lose if MAGA wins. This is a one or
can I
the
ask-
other.
Clarifying though, Wick, are you hoping that taking this position now, 90 days before the November election, would get Hong to move and change her position, or is there nothing there?
Yeah, look.
No, there's
hey,
no
if
redemption.
Wong
Hey,
if Hong repents and Hong says, you know what, I disavow the DSA, Hassan Piker, you're a fucking psycho, and
That's
repents,
leverage.
then
We call that
boom,
leverage.
I switch my position immediately. Boom, we are
We call
back
that-
on the Hong train, baby. I
But
will
is that
I
your
will
hope?
go
You're
out
gonna
and I
hold
will
out
knock
until the
doors
vote
for
is
that
loose, right? And
woman.
If she doesn't do it, you won't endorse.
Gettable voter.
I don't think
But
I don't
wait,
think
is
she's gonna do
goal-
that.
Okay, that's not your goal then in doing this. You're convinced she will not change, and
Yes.
you're not trying to pressure her to change in any way.
My goal here, my advocacy is for people to have some lines and some standards, because MAGA isn't and I really want to stress this. MAGA isn't the only threat to our liberal democracy. The DSA and the left is also a threat. The far left I'm talking about. I'm not talking soy pill or Pisco or any of the people here. I'm talking the far left, the
Which
Hassan
is
Pikers.
worse right now?
They
Wick?
are a fundamental threat, and,
Hey, Wick,
and I think you
which
guys
is
are just
worse right now?
downplaying this all the time, and I
Wick,
don't
which
know
is worse
how
right
to
now?
get it through your head.
Which
right?
is worse right now, Wick?
Hey,
Is
what?
Is it the group of people that control all three branches of government, or the people, as
The
Hutch just pointed
people
out, who have won
who control
4
all
seats?
three branches of government are more dangerous. But
Mhm.
if the DSA controlled all three branches of government, they would be just as dangerous.
Yeah, and if
So,
my grandma
wait,
had
is it-
wheels, she'd be a fucking bike, but they don't.
you
do
not
it. So why
understand?
don't you say, hey,
It'll be
let's
easier
fight
to
these people
ride her.
in the fucking primary. Let's get these people out because I don't like their policies. They're a danger to the Democrats. They're a danger to Western civilization. But once they
Because
win,
we've seen
let's
this. We've
fucking
seen
stop
this play
MAGA.
out
Let's
before,
not let
man.
MAGA win and say, I really hope
We
MAGA wins
saw-
because that means Hong loses.
We saw this is
is
the
like-
exact
Wick,
same
you are
argument
legitimizing
that the
those
Republicans
fuck-ass
made
lefties
that
who come
allowed
into my
MAGA
chat
to
and
take over
say,
their party.
Scratch a liberal, a fascist bleeds. These people would vote for a Republican. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. You guys are fucking crazy. You're not on my side. And then you come out and say, I don't know. I kind of want MAGA to win this election. And I'm like, wow, you just proved all those retards right. That's how mad I am at you. You're making lefties
You
think
can be
they're right.
mad, but I'm just correct here. Because again, the argument you're making is that we have to accept literally almost anything
Wait,
in order to beat MAGA. It's a
Wait,
blank
hold up.
check
Of two
that's going to
evils.
allow
Yes, I
us.
accept the
It's
lesser
going to
of two
lead
evils
to the
voting.
death
I've
of the
always been this
Democratic
way.
Party.
wait, is Keith asking to join Live and Learn? Keith Edwards is in my chat.
Keith Edwards.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wait,
come on.
wait.
massive.
Let me ask.
He's
Wait,
massive.
just
If
quickly.
he wants on, you guys should bring
Yeah.
him on.
Yeah,
Bring
my
Keith
he's
on.
cool, dude.
Is
We
he
better
asking? Is that what chat
DNC.
said or no? It
Keith,
might be trolling me here.
Keith, come on in.
Wick.
message, or let Soy Pill or Hutch know if you want on.
I will
and they can
fight
get on.
all of you. Okay.
No,
Keith
no,
Edwards
we,
too,
we gotta,
okay?
we gotta be. There's a dog pile going on here. I feel like reflexively, I want to take the opposite position.
But Wick, so just
Go ahead.
straight up, who's worse right now, DSA or MAGA?
I think MAGA is worse because they control the government, but the DSA is worse because they're so insidious. And there's a
But-
difference.
Okay,
but Wick,
so,
but
so the immediate threat then is MAGA.
But it can, again, yes. But if we want to, because it's not just the immediate threat. Like MAGA is not going to go away, right? In 2
But
years,
here's the
we
thing,
all
Wick,
understand that, correct?
We won't have those fights in the future if we don't get through 2028. You know what I'm saying? Like there is
Sure.
nothing to worry about in the future about DSA.
When we talk
taking
about
over.
2028,
Uh-huh.
defeating DSA now will make it easier to defeat MAGA in 2028.
Okay, but what can be done? Hong is headed towards victory.
Again, she
We can
sit
say,
out.
let's sit
and
out and hope
don't
she
let her
loses
win
to
the
MAGA,
general.
I guess that's the solution.
So what if she wins? What's the strategy then?
If she wins, If she wins, then we have a much harder time
Do we need
getting
a really
moderate
moderate
candidates that
candidate for
can win in
Republicans
swing
so that
states.
the moderate Republican can beat her in 2030, whatever. Like,
Wait,
this is so crazy. Wait, why don't you stop being a pussy and just say you want MAGA to win instead of like, I'll sit it out. You're doing the same exact shit.
It's not being
You're
a
not
pussy.
saying it
I'm
with
being
your chest.
honest.
All right.
I'm being straightforward.
You
Let
prefer
me-
she loses, which means MAGA wins. So you prefer MAGA wins. Just
All right,
say
hold
that.
on, hold on.
You won't say it because
I
you
want to
don't want the optics
interrogate.
of
I
it.
want to interrogate the claim that, like, you said that we're understating the threat of DSA. I'm just curious.
Yes.
Do you think that, for example, like, do you think that the threat of DSA is literally that in 10 years' time, 40% of the country are going to think that we shouldn't have any immigration enforcement?
So
Are
there's
you afraid of their specific ideology and policy platform actually being broadly popular with the electorate?
Well, no, but they don't need to be popular with the electorate because they're not popular with the electorate now to get into positions of influence and power within the party to make the party have bad positions that cause us to never win an election again.
Did
right?
that happen? Did that happen with Biden, for example? I mean, he didn't adopt any of the like crazy positions. He made concessions to the left, but he didn't make concessions to like DSA. He wasn't like super extreme, right?
Sure, and Biden was a great president, and he made some concessions to the progressives. But
I mean,
I don't
agree.
think he
I agree with
made-
you that the threat of DSA is that they can rat fuck the party and help Republicans
In
win future
perpetuity.
elections. But I just when I look at their past performances and just the trend lines that have occurred throughout this entire era of Trump, it's just so obvious that they will never be broadly popular enough to. So like their illiberalism to me
heard-
is like
I heard the
I think it's
same
bad.
arguments about MAGA
No, no,
when
but
in
I-
2012, 2011,
but-
2013, when the Tea Party was starting getting ready and MAGA was just kind of like a baby in the crib. I heard those same arguments from many of my Republican friends.
But DSA's policy platform is considerably less popular than MAGA's, like by orders of magnitude,
For
right?
now,
Like,
yes.
well,
right?
that's why I asked you. Do you think it's plausible that like in 10 years, 40% of the country are going to say like we shouldn't have borders or immigration enforcement?
I think it's possible. Is it likely? I don't know how likely. I can't give you a specific
I don't think
number.
that's going to happen.
So
I really,
Whick,
Wait, I'm
curious.
triggered by chat. Everyone's saying I don't have this fucking energy for lefties, doesn't know who the fuck I am, and how I've been yelling at them for the past 2
Put
years about how they
respect on
threw
his
away their
name.
fucking power and votes. Shut
Well,
the fuck
look,
up.
To be
you
clear,
stupid
hey,
fucking
I just want
asshole.
to make it clear too. Soy Pill's my buddy. Everyone
Oh
here
yeah,
is
wait,
my
Wick is
buddy.
my
He's your
boy.
boy.
We
Wick
like
is my boy.
Yeah,
we like
I do
each
like
other.
Wick a lot.
We're
I
friends.
know you can take it.
We're fighting.
As a
I wouldn't
But
be
that's
yelling at
okay.
Wick this hard if I didn't love him. Okay?
Exactly.
Says
If I
Joy-Con
look, I
supporter.
don't call people. If I didn't respect you, I wouldn't be fighting you. I'd be like, okay, whatever, and just go.
Wait, Josiah had a question. I want to hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Wick, I'll take what Hutch said there at face value. I don't know what the relative polling popularity is between DSA's positions versus MAGA's or the Tea Parties, but Hutch, knows what he's talking about. So let's just take that at face value. So there's so many differences between the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, DSA and MAGA and the Tea Party. One thing that frustrates me when I see this in my mentions, all of my fucking mentions about, well, look what happened to Republicans, look what happened to Republicans. And when we go through all the many reasons that the differences, the major differences between the two parties, it seems like it just goes right over people. It just washes off. The fact that something happened to the Republican Party does not mean that it will happen to the Democratic Party.
Not
because they're
necessarily.
correct. So,
But do you think we're like immune to it?
I
No, we
think
didn't say
that
that.
I think that it is much less likely. I'm not going to
Why?
sit here and say that in no timeline in the multiverse could
Sure.
some sort of MAGA style takeover of the Democratic Party occur, but you, in my opinion, should be justifying your fear, because the other thing is this. You have the fact that the Republican Party is much more demographically and ideologically homogenous compared to the Democratic Party. You have what Hutch said about the relative popularity of the positions that the fringe elements took before they eventually conquered the Republican Party. And you have the fact that constitutionally speaking, the Democratic Party is infinitely more likely to fight amongst themselves and to eject not only members, but leaders. We effectively kicked out the sitting president of the United States, the most powerful person in the world, because we thought he was an electoral liability. The
Yes.
Republican Party is just not capable of that. And then the other thing is this.
Okay.
We just don't see a history of it in the Democratic Party. And despite all of these differences, nobody has yet to account for that. Nobody who
I
takes your
disagree.
position, not Destiny, not Mooten, not you, nobody has said, okay, here's why I still fear that this thing could
well, I
occur
can lay it
within the
out.
Democratic Party.
I can lay
Go
it
ahead.
out. So this idea that we don't have a history of this is just not true. If you look at the party from 2012 and its evolution to today, we have much more left-leaning people of influence and power. Like, for example, last cycle, it would have been unheard of for anyone to be campaigning with 𝕬𝖎 That just would not have happened.
Oh my God.
Right?
I mean, he wasn't involved in that kind of shit. He himself didn't involve himself in that. That's the metric?
No, that's one of the metrics. Are you saying I'm wrong? That if Hassan
Yeah,
Piker
no,
was
Pisco,
doing
I
it
mean,
back
the
then, that
Overton window
people would be
shifted
campaigning with
substantially
him
in the
back
last
then?
10
I don't
years,
think
like-
it
No,
would.
that's not what he just said. No, I agree that the party has become more left-wing. Part of the reason you know that is because Joe Biden was the most progressive president of our lifetime. And Joe Biden was influenced heavily by people like Bernie Sanders and other, very left-wing members of the Democratic Party. I'm not denying that, but the question is, like, if the metric is Hassan Piker wouldn't have done that back in the day,
That's
or
an
Hassan Piker didn't
example.
do that with them. Okay, but isn't it the whole complaint that he didn't used to do this kind of like intervention for
My
Democrats?
whole complaint with
Whoa,
Hassan
whoa,
is he's
whoa,
a
hang
terrorist
on, hang on.
supporting anti-Semite.
That-
Whether
that-
he
that-
campaigns
that-
with us or not,
that-
is
that-
really...
Keith said he joined, by the way. I just
That
texted him.
feels-
Keith
oh.
said he'll join.
Okay.
if
That
you guys-
feels a bit disingenuous, Pisco. Because like,
Wait, what's disingenuous?
Because you're saying like, well, wasn't the complaint that he wasn't out there like supporting Democrats? It's like, well, that's not really what we're talking about, right?
No.
He's only out there right now
saying something
supporting.
different. I'm saying something different. What I'm saying is, if he was not like even involving himself in that time period, then there's nothing to compare X versus Y, right? I agree
see.
that like it's not the whole like him not being involved in favor of Kamala or Biden, that kind of stuff. I'm just saying
I understand,
in
I
terms
understand.
of yeah, okay, that's all I'm saying.
Did you send him the link, Josiah?
I'm sending it right now via
Okay.
Twitter DM.
Okay, great. And he can
Cool.
get in there.
Fuck,
What,
bro.
what
Dude,
side
Rick-
is
I can fight
on
1, 2,
here?
3, 4, 5, 6 of you. But here's the thing. In this, Pisco, this is a problem I have with you. Like, I'm trying to paint a picture of a wall, and every time I paint a brick, you're like, we got to stop at the brick, and we got to litigate this brick right now. Let me get through it, and then you can take me brick by brick if you
Is
like.
the overall that the party has shifted to the left? If it's that, I'll grant it. Yes, it's true.
Okay, well, that just shifting to the left isn't sufficient for this, right? And I think we both agree on that. It wouldn't be sufficient to make my case.
Yeah, agreed.
It does kind of show that the party can change over time, right? Like, Josiah, you're
Yeah.
pointing to a snapshot of right now. You don't think, and to be clear, I agree with you. Like, this instant, tomorrow we're not going to have DSA just take over in a night of the broken glass, like light of the long knives. That's not going to happen. But my fear is this is going to start a ball rolling that's going to be harder and harder and harder to stop as it gets bigger and bigger.
Right, but
and
what's the way to
bigger.
stop that, Wick? Better policies, better politicians, winning primaries, not electing MAGA so that they
We
don't
have some of
have
the-
the position for a few years.
Okay.
Like, you need to be able to like nip this in the bud. If we talked about how Republicans should have
How
stopped
was
MAGA,
Biden's
would it be,
policies?
we should have elect more
How was
Democrats.
Biden's
Like, that's
policies?
not what they'd be saying. They
How
say
was
we need
Biden's
to
policies?
run better MAGA
Was Biden's policies
anti-MAGA
good?
politicians.
Overall?
What? Yeah.
Biden's policies. Was that
course.
sufficient to win?
No, you
Exactly.
need better rhetoric.
So saying we can just win by better policies is kind of silly, right?
Okay, how are you stopping the DSA wave other than maybe hoping MAGA wins? What's your other prescription?
The other prescription, better messaging is number one. Acknowledging the threat that DSA, like one of the reasons DSA gets away with what it gets away with is because people are like, well, they're just like us. They're just, they're democratic socialists in the way that maybe Pisco is, or the way that maybe Soy Pill is.
I'm not a
And we like
Democratic
Pisco.
socialist.
You
I'm a
know what I
socialist
mean, though.
Democrat,
They're
Wick.
like they're
Don't get it
left
mixed up.
leaning. They're progressive. They call themselves progressives, and they change what they call themselves in different venues, by the way, right? But they get away by masking on, and people just kind of letting them in, right? So by identifying the threat, by kind of unmasking them, by kind of forcing people to really reckon with what they actually stand for and what they're actually trying to do, I think a lot of people will like, whoa. They really want to abolish prisons? That's fucking crazy. And I think that goes a long way. But I think that one of the reasons they get away with it is, like I said, no one takes them serious. And it's insidious. And that's why it's very, very dangerous.
Right,
We
right.
all
Okay,
recognize the threat of
so
MAGA. All of us.
As political commentators, we can all look at these shitty positions and say these are shitty positions, right? I don't think anyone here is disagreeing with this. Abolish prisons is fucking ridiculous, right? But if you're asking what does the Democratic Party do when you say we need to cut them out of the tent, we need to get rid of this cancer, we need to stop the stone from rolling down the hill. Okay,
Stop
So
campaigning
we
with them.
message better, right?
You mean
Stop
like
advocating
publicly?
for them.
He means like
Stop
publicly
voting for them.
disavowing them, distancing yourself from their
Sure.
policies. Like Biden did that. To be honest with you,
Right.
When Biden said, "I am the party," when people were trying to tie him to like Bernie's policies, and so like I guess Whick, I'm just saying like I think the better outcome would be Hong wins, and then we have like sensible Democrats that are in positions of leadership that have platforms and influence to do exactly that, to just say like, listen,
Look, I hope I'm.
the
I hope
voters
I'm
made their
wrong.
decision in Wisconsin, but obviously the Democratic Party
I
is
hope
never
I'm
going
wrong.
to support getting rid of borders.
Yeah, I just
All right,
really
am I
hope
throwing
I'm
in
wrong.
Keith, guys?
I
He's
hope that-
here.
Okay,
Yeah.
bring him on.
All right. Seven people. That's the most libs
61.
learning we've ever had.
Yo, what up, Keith?
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
I
Good,
think
buddy.
your
You?
mic-
Doing well, man.
Wait,
Good.
Double
mic
double
is-
check you're using the
might be
right
using
mic.
your,
Go to settings at the bottom and then make sure it's the right mic there.
Yeah, it might be using
Certified
your
little
earbuds.
Brady bunch here.
Is that
I'm gonna put Whick in
Yeah,
the
I think
center
that
though.
makes sense.
There we go.
Hold on, do another mic check. Keith, do another mic
Test.
check for us.
Hello?
Yeah,
Hi.
There you go.
There you
That's
go.
better. Yep.
All right, there we go. Hi.
How's it
Welcome to
going? What's
Live
your
and
take
Learn.
on all
Nice to
this?
meet you.
This is a lot of men. This is a lot of men.
It's the manliest podcast there is.
Oh my
Hell
god.
yeah.
So Keith, what you said you could only be here for 20 minutes. So weigh in on this. We're curious.
What is the topic at hand? I was gonna yell that in your chat, Hutch. So,
D-
I'm grateful
DSA
to be.
A bigger threat than MAGA right now. That's the
Is
topic.
DSA a bigger threat than MAGA?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's broader discourse about the concept of blue no matter who, and Whick is taking
Where
the
should
position
our
that-
lines be? Where
Yeah,
should
yeah.
our lines be? Is it blue no matter
Well,
who?
here's the thing. Here's
Yeah.
what I don't like is I think like there's a lot of personalities on Twitter who are doing this, and I really try not to do it. I think attacking the factions within the left does not help anyone. And I think like one of the things that MAGA has done for better or for worse is they're kind of, I mean, we're seeing it splinter now, but they're pretty cohesive. And I think like when it comes to most things, I think everyone on this live stream probably agrees on most of the big things, right?
Yes.
And so it's like that small 5%, it just doesn't feel like we're all on the same team. Maybe that sounds like really like naive or something, but I think like we're all trying to like work towards in the same direction.
Well,
and we might have,
Let me push back. I don't think the DSA has the same end goals as liberals and progressives. They want to go far further than that. They want to end capitalism,
I think
right?
they have an extreme endpoint, but I do think the DSA does want to get to the same. We are all going in the same direction. I think they have a more extreme end
I disagree.
than say like liberalism, but I don't think they are totally different.
Sure.
I don't think they're like.
I mean, they literally say
Define
we're not
different.
Democrats. We're using the Democrats, and like, don't get me wrong. Just to push back on this, Keith, I am totally for criticizing these people. The people that say you can't punch left, I think, are very, very stupid. They just don't want the heat. I think Whick is totally fine to call these people out. My issue with Whick is that he says, "Well, to beat them, we need to let MAGA win."
Vote for
I'm fine
Tom
with
Tiffany in
criticizing these
Wisconsin.
people, primarying these people. Look at what happened with Cori Bush, with Jamal Bowman. If you don't like these people, once they get the power, this is the time where we say, "Well, no, this is bad. You're passing bad policy. Let's get rid
But
of
I
these
just
people."
think there's like not this like inherent evil with some people on the left just because they see things a little differently than you
Well,
do.
no, that's not.
all.
That's not
Well-
why. It's not because they see things differently, right? It's because they want to do things that I think that would fundamentally destroy our party and destroy America, and they hang out and are boosted by people that I
How
do
many
find
DSA
evil.
members are there? Aren't there like only like 100,000 or something?
Yeah.
Doesn't take
So, like,
much.
I mean, but
But
come on,
here's
you're
the
really
thing,
worried
Keith.
about 100,000 people are going to destroy
there's-
the country?
There are polls
Like,
showing
it
that
just
like
feels
a
like
third,
again, it just feels like misplaced.
I think it's more about their oversized
Influence.
impact on the discourse. So it's true that very few people in this country identify as like an authoritarian leftist or like an actual Marxist, or could even like define what those words mean.
But DSA is not made up with people who think they're Marxists or.
Oh no! Wait, hang on. No,
No, I'm saying there
We
are
gotta bring
people
out the
in
flow chart.
DSA.
For, like,
There are
16
people in
different
DSA who think they are Marxists. Yes. who
No,
believe
that's the whole. But no, that's the whole org. That's the
in-
entire
no.
organization.
Like, do you believe in everything in the Democratic Party?
No, I don't. But I'm saying like the
Okay,
organization
well, then there's
DSA
a lot of people
are,
in the DSA who
no,
also
no.
do not agree with like that. Like what do they put like those things that they believe in? I don't know what.
Have you
what
Abolish
read their-
prisons
wait, wait, wait,
and
no,
everything.
Yeah,
hold on.
yeah. That
Have you
shit's
read
nuts.
their?
I was
have
at a
you read their
DSA meeting
platform?
3 weeks ago, and they were like, a majority of the people who were there were like, yeah, that shit's insane. The thing is like, there's a discrepancy. There's like there's internal debates too of like where the DSA wants to head. And there's a huge difference between the national DSA versus local chapters.
Well,
And I think that's something
I mean,
that's
listen, I take your point. You can have chapters that are maybe more moderate than others, but if I go to the DSA platform, the very first thing at the very top here asks, imagine taking a day off from work in a future without capitalism. That's the very first thing that they mentioned on their website. And so, you can say that you went to a meeting and there were people that were more chill, but the organization is like very definitionally,
I understand. And I think
anti-capitalist, anti-liberal.
Yes, I think the people at the top of the DSA, but I think there's also like this fight within the DSA to decide in what direction.
No one
it goes
hates
to.
DSA more than the internal members. All they do is fight. But first of all, guys, if anyone called me a sweeper before, I think you can say I'm strictly to the right of Keith on the defense here. This is very clearly like, all right, like they want very different things than the current Democratic Party. They want to use the Democratic Party to achieve those things. I think you're downplaying the severity of how bad it could get. I'm just saying MAGA's worse right now.
Well, wait a minute. So this is something new because I didn't realize this. Of course, it's because I don't obsess over it. But the DSA platform was not voted on by its 100,000 members. Is that correct? It was approved.
No, they have they have a convention and they have their
there's a
convention and they vote on the platform. So it's democratized within the institution.
No, there's a vote. I don't know how the whole process works, but it's not like every member is voting on the platform.
Well, and
it's
also,
like you're a Democratic Party member.
platform.
Did you vote on the Democratic Party platform?
No, but if it was so disanalogous to what you believed, would you
wouldn't
call
be-
yourself
you
a
would- you
Democrat, or
wouldn't
would you
be a
say,
DSA
hey, I'm
member.
an independent and I don't really agree with most of this, but I'm going to vote as a Democrat, right? Like you wouldn't be a paying member of an organization that was that antithetical to what you truly believed, right?
I also think it's
you would.
I think it's a bit of a cop out to say, sorry, Keith, I'll just be real quick. It's a bit of a cop out to say, I'm not attacking you on this, Keith, but some of these DSA people they're like, I'm not associated with the national, I'm with the local. Well, Hong did that from Wisconsin. I looked up her Madison branch, and sure enough, there's a working group to abolish prisons in there when she said she doesn't support that. So I feel like the local groups are pretty much in line with the national too.
I mean, that's just hasn't been my experience, but yeah, I mean, I guess you could paint with a broad brush and.
Well, I think, I think there would be like unfairly mischaracterizing a group and then there's taking their national platform. I think like the Democratic Party national platform similarly defines the party when those things are relevant every 4 years. And I just don't understand this idea that we would
disgrace to MAGA. Like if someone was like, well, I don't vote with Trump on everything, and there's some things I disagree with MAGA brand, but 80% of the time, 75% of the time, they identify as MAGA, we wouldn't grant them this grace. Why are we doing it for these guys?
Is it MAGA or MAGA?
I don't fucking know.
Make America.
I would like to know. MAGA. I think it's MAGA. Don't give them the soft A. They don't deserve it.
The hard A.
Good one.
I think with peace and love in my heart, I feel like, Keith, you're sane washing a little bit. There's this concept in those circles of entryism where these groups will deliberately infiltrate, parties like the Democratic Party. And then they run on populist, broadly like popular economic policies like, rent control or, lower taxes for middle income and low income people and subsidized healthcare. But the whole point is to sort of like hollow out the institution and rebuild it in their image or do what they call like a dirty break where they get enough support.
Are you a DSA member, Keith?
I'm a DSA member. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So Keith, do you support those things we've talked about, like abolishing
No.
prison?
No, I don't.
Why did you
support
join
that. No.
DSA then?
Because
what made you join?
It's not. Well, first off, I think if you've ever been a part of a political group, they're more aligned with what I believe and the actions that they take than like the local Democratic club that I used to be a member of.
Yeah. What
So
do the DSA do? What do they stand for? that you think makes you want to align with them more than a Democrat?
Well, I like that they're actually action oriented and they're trying to do things locally within like New York or Florida. And they actually seem to be doing things that are changing politics for the better, in my opinion. We have Zoran Mamdani, who, if not for the DSA, AOC, if not for the DSA, wouldn't be political figures. And it just was really funny to me that the establishment is so upset about the DSA when they're actually just helping create better politicians that actually are helping the Democratic brand.
Hold on.
Well, how do you
think
square that? How do you square that with like JB Pritzker, for example, who's been really aggressive on super progressive policy? Or how do you square that with Abigail Spanberger, who signed nearly 1,000 bills into law in her first 90 days? I mean, you say like DSA are the ones that are action oriented, but I just never hear a peep about politicians like Shapiro, who has like God tier net approval.
No. I'm saying like Amazon is fighting a bill that's going through the city council in New York that would make it so that delivery drivers who do the last mile here in New York City have to actually be Amazon employees. Right now, they're contractors. And so they've been taking a lot of actions around that to help push that through the process of the city council. That's what I mean.
Sure, but that's not
I don't feel
the
that
DSA.
Yeah, I don't feel like that's a DSA thing.
That's not a DSA exclusive.
That is the DSA.
Like
No, the
Democrats fight
DSA
for
is
stuff
like
that.
they find specifics, things like that help workers, like bills like that, and they try to make sure that they are putting pressure on the politicians to get it passed, and also making people aware that Amazon and other companies
You don't think
are
Democrats
trying to fight
do
it.
this?
Well, Keith, to bridge the gap
No.
here, I think
You don't think hold on.
but there's the
Whoa,
thing, it's
whoa,
like
whoa.
it's
You
an
don't think
act-
Democrats
it's
have
more-
stood up for the working class again and again and again with bill after bill after bill?
No, I'm
Spanberger
saying
is a
that
pretty good
Democrats
example.
aren't organized like that on the local level. That's what I mean.
So you're saying the local Democratic chapters don't have that
No,
energy
I've been in local Democratic chapters. They literally exist to help the members of Congress and the local electeds stay in power. That's the whole point. And trust me, there's no activism at the Democratic clubs, at least the ones in New York City.
Doesn't
you're
that
saying
seem
the
a little
local
bit?
game,
Doesn't
in
that seem
your
a little bit
opinion?
broad?
Hang
I
on,
mean, like,
wait a
doesn't
minute,
that?
just to clarify here. So what you're saying is, so if I understand you correctly, because they're hitting you with like statewide and national figures, and to be clear, Keith, and I'm sure you would agree, there is an overstatement on the part of the left that Democrats never get anything done. You know that's bullshit. Like, you know, again, Spanberger's a good example. Joe Biden got a lot done. Like, there is a lot of movement at the national and state level from quote-unquote establishment Democratic figures. But you're saying at the local level, in your experience, the DSA there was more game in town for the local chapter of the DSA, and that's why, because you're in New York, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So like, you know, you signed up with the New York DSA because for local issues you preferred them as opposed to the Democratic Party.
Yes. And as I'm saying, I mean, I know you all want to be like DSA is a little. I'm not a Marxist. You know, I consider myself to be like a social democrat. You know, and there's a lot of people like me, but I say the main people who go to these meetings are just more progressive Democrats. And so it's like I don't know, like, but I understand like the party platform and that lady that went on Fox News.
The biggest faction in
but
the
also
DSA
like,
are
why
Marxists.
can't I be a member of something and trying to do what I can to put my beliefs onto the party, onto the group too? So it's like, I think like this idea
the
of like
argument is
having
that the majority of DSA is Marxist-Leninist, and their end goals are not the same as yours if you truly aren't a Marxist-Leninist.
Wait,
no, they're not.
Wait, is the argument that the Democratic Socialists are Marxist-Leninists?
Well, I don't know about NL specifically,
factions,
but like definitely like
are Marxists.
One of the largest
Marxists,
factions within the DSA are Marxist explicitly.
Guys, should we get a woman's voice in here?
Not Marxist-Leninist.
Keith already said about how all the testosterone on here.
Do it.
All right, let's do another panel. We can get 9. We can fit 9 people in here.
Time anyway.
I do have to. I do have something. I do have to get to, but
Hi, Anne.
I do want to thank you for coming on.
Are you a card-carrying
Keith
DSA
Edwards,
member?
and
What do you have to
proving
say
me
about
right in real
this?
time. Yeah, nice to see you.
No, can you guys hear me well? I've never done it this way before. Okay, that's good. Whick, I thought you missed me. What happened? You're all of a sudden you have to go now.
Well, because I had the Liberal Action Network thing I have to do, and
okay,
I told them I'd push
I
it back a little bit because I wanted to fight the good fight here, but
this is more important.
No, I'll give you 10 minutes and then I have to go.
There's good liberal work to be done, Whick. Come on.
Yes, that's why I'm here. I'll give you 10 minutes and then I do have to fulfill my responsibilities. So.
True.
All right,
I
say
don't
your
want to
piece.
interrupt.
What's up?
I know you guys were just in the middle of something.
You've already interrupted. Now you have to keep going.
For what it's
Look,
worth, I just want to say, Keith, just to put a button on it, like I am not going to deny your experience with DSA, and I don't share, Whick's contempt for DSA or even Hutch's to the extent that they do. Now, I do think that there is an illiberal strain within the upper echelons of DSA.
I don't know. Hang on. I don't know why people are saying it is like this. It's not an illiberal strain. That is from the top down.
Is AOC a liberal? Is AOC a liberal in your estimation?
She's not the top down. She's a DSA endorsed candidate.
Didn't they disavow her?
So wait a minute.
Why are you fighting me on this? Why are you fighting me on this?
Because you want to paint the entire DSA as illiberal, and I reject that category. I just categorically reject that.
Yeah, listen. I don't know. Have you read their platform?
I've read their platform, but this is where I think Keith has a fair point, which is this idea that literally every single candidate or every single member of the DSA must co-sign the illiberal extreme of the national platform.
No. But the national platform,
reject it.
That is the party identity, though. But I feel
so wait a minute. So to be clear, you agree then that AOC and Zoran Mamdani are illiberal. You cannot be a liberal member of the DSA.
No,
right?
That's
not. He's saying the majority of them are going to probably follow the national platform.
You're trying to find a contradiction. You're not.
No, I found it. I found it. You're fucked.
No, but she governs like a pragmatic, progressive liberal, and she's DSA aligned. She's still,
take AOC out. What about Mamdani? Mamdani has not been disavowed by AOC or by the DSA. Is Zoran Mamdani illiberal?
I would say so. Yes.
Communist, right?
Yes.
I'll be right back. 1 second. I don't mean to bail. I'll be right back. 1 second.
Yeah, Josiah here. I'll argue for Edge because I agree with him here. Like the idea that this isn't a majority of this coalition.
I did not say even majority. I said the idea that literally every single member.
No one's saying there aren't exceptions. They're saying this is the DSA, this is the org, this is their national platform, and this is what they're pushing. Like, why would you be a part of an org if you're that opposed to communism in the long run? If you're that opposed to seizing private property, if you're that opposed to this national platform,
can you be a liberal who is not opposed to communism?
I don't know if you can have liberal communism. No.
Okay, so then by definition, there can be no liberal member of the DSA, right? You're boxed in. So
no, there are people in the DSA who do not support communism.
No, literally, it sounds like Keith is one of these people who is just like, no, even though a majority of the people kind of want this illiberal communist
how can Keith possibly be liberal? How can Keith
because in the short term, this is not big enough for him to like. It's like, look, they're pushing more progressive, they're fighting harder, they're organizing, and maybe that's their end goal, but it's so far in the future that it doesn't matter to me, right?
Then you can be a liberal member of the DSA.
I didn't say you couldn't. I'm just saying that clearly the majority. No, I'm saying you probably can't be a liberal.
Can you be a liberal MAGA?
You said that.
No,
DSA,
Josiah, can you be a liberal MAGA guy?
DSA supports communism, right?
Liberal
the national platform.
Yeah.
Right, Soy Pill?
Yeah.
How can you be part of an organization that has such an illiberal?
Yeah. What's the point?
So you're asking what the efficacy is, not
that
it's
obviously
not possible.
People are part of it that are
okay. Well, then we're good. Then
okay, 100%. Yeah, we didn't disagree. The fear was not can you be an exception in this. The fear is, hey, these people do not have the same goals, the same end goals as you. Some people in it do, some people don't. Most probably don't if they are Marxist-Leninists or Marxists.
I'm assuming.
Keith, then we agree that Keith is a liberal member of DSA, and it's possible to be liberal members of the DSA.
I don't know if he's
telling
liberal
the truth.
Or not.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I just don't know why you're fighting so much on this one particular thing, Josiah. Like instead of just acknowledging that this is an organization.
Yeah, why is that, Josiah?
It is fundamentally Marxist. It is a
so Hutch, I'm going to ask you. Hutch, I'm going to ask you.
Don't get so defensive. Wait, hang on. Just listen to me.
A liberal member
what do you think
DSA?
DSA's goals are? What do you think DSA's goals are?
I think that their goals are to abolish prisons, as they say.
No. I'm not. Listen, I'm not talking about specific policies per se, but I'm saying like the broad vision. What do you think they're trying to accomplish?
Politically, to locally or nationally?
I mean both.
I think their goal is to fundamentally alter, like the end state is to fundamentally alter the current state of America and make it a more socialist enterprise.
Okay, then why are you fighting us on this, man?
What are you fighting us on?
Why are you fighting me when I say it is possible to be a
saying
liberal
we didn't
member
fight
of
you
the
on that.
DSA? Well, wait a minute.
Possible, just like it's possible to be someone who is liberal and supports MAGA. It's possible.
Yeah, it's
just
Whick
not
is liberal and
likely.
supports MAGA. Come on.
Actually, I don't know. I don't know if that's the case. I have to think about that. I don't know if it's possible to be a liberal.
It's possible
MAGA
in the same way
supporter.
it's possible to be liberal and support the DSA.
I want to ask Keith.
I do have to go
as a
soon. Just FYI.
Keith, I assume you're a liberal. I'm not trying to. And is that correct? Do you identify as a liberal? Are you a socialist? Like, how do you?
Yeah, liberal. Yeah,
liberal. So,
yeah.
Are you afraid that as a liberal joining DSA that you could open the door for some of the more extremist stuff by legitimizing them?
No, I mean, I don't. What do you mean?
So you've heard some of their national.
Aren't they already legitimized?
No. But I think the concern is that we're kind of sane washing some of the more extreme stuff while you're not hearing that from the people on the ground at the meetings you're going to. But people are concerned that it's a Trojan horse to bring in this group and this ideology that undermines capitalism and liberalism. Does that concern you at all, joining a local chapter?
No, I mean, I think I personally think capitalism. I think capitalism deserves to be undermined. I don't think it is serving us as best it could right now. We used to regulate shit. We used to regulate things. I like to get into regulation again. So so yes, I think that what is Whick guy is very. Yeah.
Well, Keith, are you masking on right now? Like, can you?
He is.
Tell us.
Hold on, I'll just ask you. I gotta go soon. Keith,
right now.
did Hasan Piker shock his dog?
What?
Did Hasan Piker shock his dog?
He says he didn't. No.
He says he didn't know.
What do we do?
Anyway,
here?
I just need. That's all I needed. Okay, guys, I gotta go. I love you all.
Keith, I don't. Do you follow Hasan?
I have no
drama?
idea what that.
Okay,
I don't know.
Whick, ask him a different question.
Sure. Do you think Hasan Piker is a?
Yes.
Do you think Hasan Piker is a threat to the Democratic Party?
No.
Okay. Yep. That's all I needed. Okay. I'll see you guys later. I love you. I gotta go to my.
So
thing.
Keith, now I would disagree on that. I mean, I think that Hasan's, from my experience,